Yes, I'm back and travel stories to learn from. As you know, I have quite an illustrated past with traveling. My father was an avid traveler, and my father also knew how to utilize the frequent flyer programs. This was in the late 80s, early 90s. And so, as a child, with my family, with my sisters, thank you for the likes, with my mother and father, we traveled often. And we traveled to all the major cities and the national parks, and oftentimes in business class and first class, which was nice, especially in the early 90s and late 80s, because at that time you would have three different choices for breakfast. And I remember us as a family being in business class on TWA, and there would be the choice of the omelet or the pancakes or I don't know what the third option. It might have been like a breakfast cereal. And I remember watching these flight attendants, and they seemed so graceful and so regal and so well put together and so polished. And it seemed like they just floated through the cabin of the airplane. And something stuck with me as I watched these men and women work the flights. And again, this was in the early 90s. And so they would always come and give me extra cookies. And it was oatmeal. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was oatmeal. I believed so. I know there was always an egg dish and like pancakes or waffles and then oatmeal. And it was just a superior service. And after 9/11, a lot of the services that were offered prior to 2001 were scaled back. And they were scaled back due to the airlines cutting, hey, how you doing, handsome? Cutting their budgets and really scrambling to stay afloat. And after deregulation, a lot of things changed within the airline industry. So when I joined the airlines in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, it was when really the airlines started their massive hiring after 2001. Because after 9/11, many of the airlines ceased hiring. Most of the airlines claimed bankruptcy, and they were restructuring their financial portfolios, and therefore froze all hiring for about 4 or 5 years. So I remember my first time flying. And in fact, my first flight was to Amsterdam. And it was enchanting because my international test flight was to Rotterdam, which is another city in the Netherlands, in Holland. And I believe it's the largest port. It's the largest port within Europe. And so there's a lot of transport in and out of Rotterdam. However, I remember that call because I was on reserve, as most flight attendants are when they are first flying. Now, what reserve means is you fill in the gap for someone who didn't show up, or someone who called in sick, or just a space that is there. When you first start flying as a flight attendant, you do know the days that you are working However, you are unaware of where you will be working. So you're just a filler. You don't have a set schedule of where you are going. So I remember for our first week or two, a lot of individuals were finding a place to live. And let me go into that story. So I had chosen to room up with 2 other new flight attendants. And this was the first time I had lived outside of my parents' home. And the 2 individuals I felt were trustworthy individuals, and I got along with them. And we all decided to live together in a 3-bedroom. And we were based out of Dulles at this time. So when we were based out of Dulles, we had to fly out of all 3 airports. So we flew out of Baltimore International, we flew out of Dulles, and we flew out of Reagan. And you had to find your way to each of the airports. Now, myself, I had chosen not to have a car. I had said, you know what? I know my salary. I'm going to work this out because, thank you, because my father was in finance and taught me everything about money and the monetary system. And so my thinking was, if I am not driving, that means I am not putting any money towards gas. I'm not putting any money towards a car's upkeep, and I'm not putting any money towards insurance, which is money that I can use for myself. And I do remember asking my dad, how do I budget? Like, I remember having these conversations, like, how do I budget? And my father actually said, well, you can do the envelope budgeting tip, which is you have an envelope and you write groceries and you put X amount in it. Then you have an envelope for your fun activities and you put X amount in it. And then you have an envelope for all of your fixed costs for the month and you put X amount of money in it. And that's it. If your fun envelope runs out, you don't go and take from another envelope. And it was a fantastic way to learn budgeting because I'm big with always covering costs. However, with the 2 individuals, we were provided with a hotel for the first 2 weeks by the airline. So we were able to look for a place. So in between when we were on the ground and not flying during those first 2 weeks, we would go look at different apartments and townhomes in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And we all had different needs. Some people wanted to be closer to the airport. Others wanted to be closer to the city, meaning the district, so they could go out and hang out. Myself, I just wanted to be in the median area. So I wanted to be a healthy distance between all of the airports and the district. I'll find a way to get there. I will, and this is before Uber and all of these things. I will work it out. However, my 2 other future roommates had cars. So their thinking was, we already have transportation. We'd rather factor in the cost, which is the highest on the priority list. So we were looking and we kept looking and we kept looking, and we just couldn't find a happy medium for us 3. So much so that one of the 3 of us said, you know what, I'm just not going to room up with you guys. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, I have my car payment and then this takes $6 away from my car payment. I was like, what? Are you serious? You're talking about $6? Really? It was something this small. $6? Yes, Hope, it's $6, but I have my insurance, I have my car, I have my student loan. I said, okay, listen, I'm not going to do this with you. Okay. Then we will be just two. Because if it comes down to a difference in $6, I don't want to live with you. No way. Because there will be other issues that come out. Go take your $6 and go somewhere. Okay? So now we're down to two. So, me and the other roommate ended up finding a place. And it was a townhome in Alexandria, Virginia, which was near the Metrolink, the train. And since the third had dropped out because of the $6 discrepancy, we said, okay, we'll split the two. We'll split it amongst us two because it's a 3-bedroom, it's a 2-bathroom, and we will move here. Which we did. And I believe both of our no, it was just my name on the lease. I didn't know. This was my first time living outside of my parents' home. So we move into this lovely townhome. And this goes to show how far just persistence will go. Because I had moved to DC area from California. I didn't bring anything because I was starting new. I was a brand new flight attendant and I just figured I would work it out. Now my roommate had relocated because of Hurricane Katrina. And she was originally from Louisiana. So she didn't bring anything besides herself and her clothing. So we moved into this beautiful townhome. And we had no furniture. However, we were brand new flight attendants and we were given like a sign-on bonus once we passed flight attendant testing and all that, all of that. I think it was a couple $1,000 paired with the money I had already had with me. And starting out, most of the money went into our startup costs, our first and last, all of these security deposits. So we had very low money on us. So I thought, well, how are we going to get furniture? And I remember going to Salvation Army and Goodwill with my grandmother. So I said, let's do this. Let's call up Salvation Army. And let's tell them, we just moved here. We're new flight attendants. We actually haven't started to fly. So we have very little funds. And would you be open to donating furniture so we could furnish our new townhome? And the townhome was beautiful. It was 2 stories and it had a beautiful sitting room and a beautiful kitchen and a beautiful back patio in a nice, quiet, safe area. And upstairs were the bedrooms. To our chagrin, Salvation Army said yes. So I was actually away flying and my roommate was in the townhome when Salvation Army came. And they donated to us everything. They donated the tulip table, which is a very notable mid-century modern table that has been replicated several times. They donated matching chairs. They donated sitting chairs, a couch, 2 vacuum cleaners, beds, bed frames, dressers, mirrors. They furnished our entire townhome. And we were so happy. Yeah, my hair grows pretty quick. My hair grows pretty quick. And I was very happy because I love to vacuum. I currently don't have carpet. A lot of places in Hawaii do not have carpet because sand and dirt, so you sweep a lot. However, I love to vacuum. It's like so comforting to me, and I am impeccably clean. I love to clean and have a clean space. And add to it, I like to vacuum in heels. It's like a workout. It's great for your legs. It's great for your bum. So it's a part of my craziness. I love to vacuum in heels. However, remember this, because the Salvation Army donated all of this, including the 2 vacuum cleaners. So now we're in the place. We have a furnished space. We have our 2 vacuum cleaners. We have bedroom sets. We have rugs. We have a kitchen table. We have everything. And we are quite different, which is what I've learned in this through life. Myself, I'm a vegetarian. Now, living on the island, I can be a flexitarian. I will eat fish from the island because I live on Hawaii. I live in Hawaii. I just say I eat what I eat. Even the term vegetarian can be somewhat rigid, but I do not eat chicken or pork or beef or lamb. I don't eat any meat and haven't for several years. Although I don't mind when other people eat meat, the smell of cooking pork just makes me nauseous. Now, my roommate did love to eat sliced ham and grits and eggs every morning. So, Hope, you just got to get used to it. You just got to open your window or find some way, because now we're in a living situation. So, within the first 3 months, especially being a flight attendant, we were often not home at the same time. No, absolutely not. No. Thank you for not asking about that. We often were on different schedules. So when I was home, she would be flying, and when she would be flying, I would be home. It was perfect because it was like we had our own individual space. And when we were both there collectively, sometimes we would go into the district or we would go grocery shopping, but we hardly spent our time together collectively. And I speak to new flight attendants about this because often you meet people in training and then you room up together and things happen. This is what happened to me. Well, while I was living in DC, I met a kind gentleman and we started a relationship. And little did I know, his parents actually lived in my townhome complex, which was wild. My life seems to have these interlooping circles. So much so, one time I was asking people, what's up? Okay, Vegas. I was outside because I talk to everyone. When I say I'm a speaker, yes, I'm a speaker. I'm a professional speaker, but I just like to talk. I like to interact. It's what I do, and I'm good at it. So I had a bottle of wine, and I didn't have a bottle opener to open my bottle of wine. So I went around in the townhome complex, and anyone that I saw outside, I said, "Hey, do you have a wine opener, a corkscrew?" Someone said, "No, I don't." I said, "Hey, excuse me, do you have a wine corkscrew, a bottle opener?" No, I don't." And by the third time, someone said, "Oh, yeah, I do." Well, that second person I did not know was my future boyfriend's parents. I did not know that this was his parents, and I definitely didn't know I definitely didn't know. I ended up meeting him a few weeks later. So now I'm in a relationship. I have a boyfriend. I'm living in Alexandria, near Old Town Alexandria. My boyfriend is living in the district. He actually lives in DC. So I would spend a lot of time with him when I was not flying. This started a riff. And I don't know why. However, my roommate, not far from King Street. Not far from King Street. I think I was on Van Dorn. Yeah, I was off of Van Dorn. So she was still trying to find someone for her and was upset. Hey, Jen, how you doing? How you doing? I have a great story for you, and I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. So she said, Hope, you're never here. I said, yeah, so? You're welcome. So I don't have to be here. As long as I pay the bills, I don't have to be here. Like, we aren't doing this. And that already left a weird taste in my mouth. She said, well, are you moving out? I said, no, I have no intention of moving out. My name is actually on the lease, so I don't want to break the lease at all. But I would always be spending time with my boyfriend. So that following month, I did not balance my budget. And I wrote my check for the rent, and it bounced. And I think this was my first time having a check bounce. I was 22 at the time, so this was all brand new for me. And she called me furiously, like, Hope! It's like, yes? Because I was on a trip. I was flying somewhere. She's like, your check bounced! I said, okay. I'm currently on a trip. As soon as I get back, I will settle that. I apologize, but I will settle that. You better! Click! It's like, geez, that's unfortunate. Okay. So I landed. I came back. I paid the extra fees, and it was all sorted. However, I was still often at my boyfriend's house. I would only come back to my space to really pick up the mail, drop off any bill money, or to grab uniforms. And maybe she felt lonely. But less than 2 months later, I had a trip to London. And as a new flight attendant, we were often going to London because a lot of flight attendants did not want to fly London because of the heightened costs, because of the exchange rate with the pound. So it would often be given to reserves, which I was on reserve at the time. So I was in London. And I returned back, and instead of going to my boyfriend's house, I said, let me just go home. Like, I haven't been home in a while. Get off my trip from London. I head home. I put the key in the door. I open the door. All of the furniture that was donated to us from Salvation Army was gone. It was gone. She had moved out. She'd moved out while I was on the trip in London. And furthermore, I don't know why she took that furniture. What's up? I don't know why she took the furniture because it wasn't hers to take. It was not her furniture to take. It was donated to us from Salvation Army. But imagine that. You come back from your job. Now, I was away for about 3-4 days because I was working. And I enter my home just to see it barren. Just to see it without the couch, without the tulip table, without the matching chairs, without the vacuum cleaners. Oh, quelle horreur. I was so upset about the vacuum cleaners because I love to vacuum. I already said I love to vacuum, especially in heels. It is my workout, and you took both of the vacuum cleaners. You didn't purchase the vacuum cleaners, but you took them. You took them. Why'd you take them? And as I'm letting everything settle in my head, because I had never experienced anything like this, let alone her, yes, you got to try. It's the best workout. It's great to keep that butt tight and right. It's great to keep them legs sculpted. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know, you got to do these things effortlessly, okay? But I digress. Back to walking into my townhome, not seeing my vacuums, not seeing our furniture, and not seeing the roommate that was there the week prior. Not the best feeling. So, yeah, you telling me I had to live through it. But my name is Hope. So listen, because the story keeps going and it gets good. So, I immediately pick up my phone. I call her. She's not picking up. Call her. Not picking up. Call her. Not picking up. Call her. Not picking up. I said, okay. All right. Okay. What the heck? Okay. What am I? I will figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. Is this really happening? I'm pinching myself like, is this real? Like, I need to wake up because this can't be real. It just did not make sense. It did not make sense, but I had to figure it out because the first is always approaching quickly. So I went to my airline company and said, listen, this is what's happened to me. This person, who is also a flight attendant within our company, has moved out and has taken everything. Is there something within our legal department that can be done? They said, well, yes, you can go to professional standards and try to do, no, there is not. You can do like there was something that didn't work out. I said, okay. She's not picking up. She's locked her schedule, so I can't even find her because I'll find where you're laying over and I'll come meet you. Like, my name isn't Hope for nothing. Okay, her schedule's locked, can't find her. And there's like 40,000 flight attendants. So how am I supposed to locate this girl, right? So at this point in the story, again, I'm by myself in the place. It is free from furniture. It is free from the roommate, and she is just flying. Have not contacted her. She hasn't contacted me back. I said, Hope, this is for you to sort out yourself. So, what I learned, because every state operates by different rules, and the Commonwealth isn't something you want to play with. The Commonwealth meaning the laws of Virginia. They are stringent and they quickly go into action, unlike certain other states. So I think she left me my bed. I think she was lenient enough to leave me that. But I didn't even care about that. You took my 2 vacuum cleaners. Okay? Good morning. You took my 2 vacuum cleaners. So, the first is coming. Geez, what am I going to do? How am I going to sort this out? Because I need to get this rent in. It's just me. Can I cover this? Okay, now she's gone. She's not answering. The first comes, it passes. Within the Commonwealth, I believe, no one actually owned the stuff because our place was furnished by the Salvation Army. I reached out to the Salvation Army and said, we are 2 new flight attendants who have relocated. Could you donate furniture? So they donated everything. Everything that was in our townhome was donated free of charge. So neither of us had ownership of any of it. It was one of those different situations. Exactly. But at this point, it's already gone. I got to figure out what's happening for next month on the 1st. So the 1st comes and goes. By the 3rd, I believe the Commonwealth can start with eviction proceedings, because the Commonwealth is different. It is an interesting state to go through the legal system. So now they've already started eviction proceedings. They can put the notice on the door on the 3rd, and if it's not in by the 5th, they will start immediately. Whew, this is getting tough. Okay, how am I supposed to do this? Who can I call? What reserve can I? Oh, I love that vacuum. Yes. Oh, it gets very, very good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Virginia, don't mess with the Commonwealth. So, eviction proceedings have started. The papers are on my door. This is also the first space I've ever lived in outside of my parents' home. And I was tested in that moment, but I knew, hope, this is time for you to bring out your best. So I got to thinking, I was going to reach out to a friend of mine, and I think I did. I think I asked her for some money. However, I really do not, I like to find the solution. So I said, okay, this is a 3-bedroom. I'm here, but I'm often not here. Let me put the other 2 rooms up on Craigslist and sublet. Immediately, I had 2 subletters. And what I charged them, because I was never there, I just charged them maybe $600 or $700 with everything included, because I wasn't there. So I would just pay the electricity, the utilities. I just need some bodies in here because I'm usually at my boyfriend's house. Yeah, but that's the thing. In a situation like this, that's the time to be cool and think. The time to lose your mind and say, what is going to happen? That for me, that is when I sit down and I say, I have the solution. I'm open to the solution. The solution is coming. What is the solution? Having 2 people in here because I'm never here anyway. Great. Got 2 people, subletted it, talked to the rental office. Can I sublet? Great. The day that the sheriff was coming to remove me, I said, you can't remove me because I have all the money here. And I've solved the problem. Woo! So I went from missing my 2 vacuum cleaners, free from furniture that was taken, that wasn't actually hers, to knowing that the sheriff was going to come remove me, all the way to, okay, I have 2 people in. They have legally been a subletter. The money is in. I'm cool as a cucumber. Cool. Let me go back to my life. Which I did. And it worked out perfectly for the subletters because I really wasn't there. I was never there. It was kind of their own space. And that was during the summer. So that December, I had flown in because it was my first year being a flight attendant. And I was lucky enough, I had a Boston trip. So I think I had flown one leg to Boston and came right back. And I was back by like 8 a.m. And then I was off on Christmas, which was great. Because then I was going to fly home to be with my parents. And I assured my mother, every Christmas I will be home. Because my mother loves Christmas. She loves to decorate. She loves to cook. She has different pies and cakes and eggnog, pound cake, and everything. And I said, Mom, I can't give you Thanksgiving because sometimes my birthday falls on Thanksgiving, and I will be oiled up on some foreign beach, hopefully with a beautiful gentleman by my side, tanning. I can't give you Thanksgiving, but I will give you Christmas. So Christmas comes, and I fly back in that morning from Boston early, 7:38. And I go into what we call the domicile, which is similar to the offices where all the flight attendants meet prior to a trip. And we get our paperwork, or we check our mailbox, everything. It's like our gathering location. It's usually underneath the airport. And as I walk into the domicile, I see her. I see her. She's sitting at the table. The time has finally come. The taker of my 2 vacuum cleaners. The remover of the Salvation Army furniture. I see her. I see my target. And there's a glass partition on the door where I spotted her like, yes. The day has come. The day has come. I am so ready to do this. And I took a deep breath. And I opened the door to the domicile. And I walk in. And she's working on some paperwork, and she just happens to look up. And she sees me. And her face went completely emotionless. And I decided to turn into Denzel Washington. I said, Hope, you know what? If life is a movie, let's play it. Let's play it. So I need to get into character, because when I saw her, I felt like this. I felt like, let me put my hoodie on. Okay? Because now is the time. I'm finally getting my vengeance. I set my bag by the wall, and I walked to the table. And it's a circular table with about 6 chairs. No one else is sitting at the table. I slowly pull the chair back, and I sit down. I said, you pulled the trick with the right person. She didn't respond. I said, you see, I'm built differently. Most people would have crumbled. In fact, most people wouldn't have made it. You moved out. You took everything. You never responded to any of my calls. And yet we're here face to face on Christmas. Let me share something with you, Rachel. You're the type that would do that. But in all actuality, I'm the type that would survive that. And thank you for doing that. Because someone like me only improves and gets better when I interact with someone like you. So just know I'm going to continue to thrive. I don't know about you. But it's all right, because I learned. Merry Christmas. I I got up. I even remember it because I really saw myself like in a movie, like there she is. Hope, here is your monologue. This is it. What are you going to do? Are you going to go yell, cuss? Are you going to ignore? No. I'm calm, cool, and collected. I'm pulling out the chair slowly. I need you to feel this buildup. I need you to understand that truthfully, yeah, I'm built for it. And I want you to be left with this feeling of what just happened. Exactly. Yeah, boom. And it wasn't, I had a very direct voice. I was thinking of my father because my father can be very stern. My father could just look at you and just annihilate your soul. And I remember the look in her eyes. And I remember that Christmas being so proud of myself because not only did I survive, I was actually in a better position because I think our rent was $1,500 and I had 2 people in for $700. So all I was paying was $100 and utilities. And yeah, I had to find the way, but I found the way. And that's how these things work. Getting upset, getting furious, breaking things, saying, oh, the world, why does this happen to me? That doesn't solve the problem. Furthermore, yeah, you did it to the right person. You see me strolling, calm, cool, and collected, and you know what you did. I don't need to explain to you what you did. I'm not even mad at you for what you did. In fact, thank you, because I proved something to me. I was 22. That was my first living situation. All I knew was I had to figure it out. And I'm sharing this story because you gotta just figure it out. It's not about vengeance. It's not about getting back at someone. What are you gonna do now? What are you doing now? I don't have time to really be upset and say, why would they do this to me? No. Sheriff is coming. Sheriff is coming in 48 hours. Figure it out. Figure it out. And I think she ended up quitting. I haven't seen, I mean, my 15 years with the airline, I didn't see her ever again after that day. And I wanted to ask her, you could have left one of the vacuum cleaners. You knew how I loved vacuuming. You knew I loved vacuuming. That's like my meditation to vacuum. I like seeing the little things in the carpet, and you took my vacuums? Both? What you gonna do with 2 vacuums? All you need is one. And are you going to grow? Or are you going to blame? Are you going to thrive and grow or blame and complain? Are you going to change and adapt or complain, say, woe is me, and this always happens to me? I choose the first. Yeah, she didn't need to listen. My heart was broken. My heart was broken over that. And it was a nice vacuum cleaner. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Because here's the thing. When I joined the airline, in fact, the day I went into training, I said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to Fresno, California. This is my ticket to see the world. This is my ticket to leave wonderful gentlemen in the countries I found them, because I love doing that. They're like souvenirs. This is my ticket to learn about other social structures and cultures and foods and holidays, and ways of life. This is my catalyst for my next life. I'm not allowing anything to take this away from me. I'm not allowing someone to move out for me to say, I can't do it no more. I got to go home. No, we ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm built tough. I'm not going back. That was the first challenge. There's always additional challenges. And I will continue to share them because through all of them, I learned something. I show up like this because I have a lot of these stories. And I just learned to laugh and say, Hope, look what you got yourself into now. How are we going to adapt? How are we going to grow? How are we going to allow this to be that funny story that you share with people on TikTok? How are you going to allow this to be the story to teach someone something when you are a professional speaker? How are you going to allow this story to share what you learned instead of the story of, look what they did to me. This always happens to me. She shouldn't have done this to me. That ain't me. That ain't me. It's never going to be my story. And I challenge you to allow this to be your story. That was the perfect time for me to say, this ain't for me. I just came back from a trip. How am I going to make this money? How? It's not about how. How will how happen? I have to decide that this is important enough for me to move forward. I have to decide that this is only for me to grow from. Yeah, well, I'm a speaker, so I speak it. This is all, I'm an extemporaneous speaker. So none of this is written. I can write, however, when it comes, I know how to build the story. Yeah, so come every day. I come out here twice a day and share these stories. And let me give you an extra, here's an extra. Because this one's funny. And I get myself into some interesting predicaments. I am very kind most of the time. Yeah, I'm always kind. I will say that. I get myself into precarious situations. I don't know if it's purposely, but I do. So prior to that happening, I had shared with you the airline provided us with a hotel so we could find a place. Well, then the hotel ran out, so we said, me and the two roommates, we said, let's get an extra hotel for a few nights and then go sign the contract. This was before one broke off and then me and the girl decided to move in together. So here goes hope. We go and we are trying to conserve the money that we have. So we were staying in like Ashburn, Virginia, or McLean, like one of these little neighboring towns in Northern Virginia. And we found one of the cheapest, not the cheapest, but one of the least expensive hotels. I think it was like a Super 8. Like we were just like, okay, we'll only stay here for one more day and then we'll go finalize the rental agreement. Now I have 4 sisters. I don't actually care to be around people all the time. I was raised in a large family, which I love, but now as an adult, I like my space. So we had rented this room with 2 beds and we were given the key. And it was a bi-level hotel. So we go up the stairs and we go into the room. And during the summer times in Virginia, it's quite hot and muggy. And as we entered the room, I said, well, let's turn on the AC. Yeah, I'm an extroverted intro. I don't know. I won't even take that label. However, as we enter into the room, I mentioned to one of the friends that I was with to turn on the AC. And they go to turn it on. It was one of the ACs that's like built into the wall. And it just went click, 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 and it never came on. I said, well, we can't stay in this hot room. It is hot, hot. I'm not saying, listen, actually, I'm tired of you two. I'm already tired of y'all. This is what we're going to do. This is where it gets good, and this will shed a little light on me. I'm going to stay in the room. Basically, steal the hotel room. You two go ask for additional key. Get a new room, and I'm going to stay in this room. And I will get up early enough before housekeeping comes in, and I'll go into the new room that you two get. Okay? So call me or something, but you know what? You don't even need to call me. I'm going to stay in this room because I'm tired of y'all. I've been with y'all for like the past few days. I just want to be by myself. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm just going to stay in this room. I'll see you in the morning. I'll come meet you early in the morning. They said, Hope, are you sure? I said, yes. Get out of here. I'm tired of you. This is why my friends love me. I'm very direct. So they take their bags, they go down to the front desk of this Super 8, and they receive a new hotel room. They go into the hotel room, we all go to sleep. So, of course, the next morning, I don't get up early enough. Of course. I outsleep everything. So much so that housekeeping actually comes in to wake me up. And so housekeeping opens the door like, Dios mío, who are you? I was like, I'm not here. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I'm not here. She's like, you're not supposed to be here. You stole this hotel room. I'm calling the police. She goes, she gets the phone. There's a woman in this room. She didn't pay for this room. Do you know this woman's in this room? The whole time I'm thinking, Lord, help me, Jesus. I need to get out of this room. I'm telling the woman I'm not even here. I'm telling her like, you don't even see me. Why I just think of things and hope that they work, okay? I thought by saying I'm not here, you don't see me, that she would say, oh, okay, yeah, you're not here. Come on, Hope, come on. That didn't really work. So she's on the phone with the front desk. I'm quickly gathering my things. My friends are now outside below me in the parking lot looking up towards the room. Yeah, it was a great try. As she's on the phone with the front desk, she says, call the police. Now, I don't want any problem. I don't want no problem. I don't want no problems, okay? I don't want any problems with the police. I don't want any problems with any sort of law enforcement, okay? At all. None. So, as soon as she says, call the police, I'm like, okay, yeah, now it's time to go. And I said, listen, I'm going to pay for the room. It's no big deal. I'm going to leave. I'm paying for the room. We don't need any problems. We don't need to call the police. As I'm leaving, she says, no, stop. Stay there. We're going to have you arrested. I said, okay, this definitely is great idea, Hope. Now you got your own room and you possibly have law enforcement. I need to get my butt up out of here. So, as I'm feverishly pacing out of the room, I walk out to see the hotel management. She was not the owner. She was actually the cleaning staff. She was the housekeeping staff. She was the one that came in. I don't know. All I know is once I walked out of the room and looked over the little railing and saw the front desk people saying, you better get down here. We're calling the police. I said, okay, I need to go very quickly because me and police do not mix at all. Okay, let me carry my little butt, as my mom says, carry your butt down these stairs. In fact, my mom would say, roll your hips up out of there. Let me get in this car. I don't want no problems. You want me to pay for the room? I ended up paying for the room anyway. And my friends are looking up like, Hope, again? Like, Hope, only Hope. And luckily the police were not called. Luckily. However, we got out of there so fast, I didn't even want to wait around to see if they were going to be called. And this comes full circle, because my father would say, there are no shortcuts. I learned it then. It definitely was not a shortcut. I still ended up paying for the room. My nerves were frazzled, and my entire life was in the suitcase and my friend's car. Was it worth it? Yeah, of course, because I have this story. And it was worth it because I wanted to get away from them. I was tired of them. Actually, yes, it was worth it. I was tired of being around them, my two friends. And one of them is still one of my greatest friends to this day. However, if I need to get away, that was worth it. If you need to get away, you need to get away. So, that was from like my first 6 months flying. I have quite a few other stories. Yeah, well, but that's not a part of the story. Listen, I've been ducking and dodging them. They've never got me, so we gotta keep it that way, okay? We gotta keep it that way, okay? I don't play. I would love to just keep a great lawyer on retainer just in case, but I don't even want to take it there, okay? I'm not built for it. That ain't for me at all. You hear this voice? This voice is for talking myself out of situations that I get myself into. But if I see the whoop whoop, that's not for me. Time to go. Usually I'll just start crying. If police come, I'll just start crying. That's my best line of defense. Just start crying. Just start crying and go from there. But the tears usually open the space for me to think, okay, how am I going to get out of this one? Because thank you for sharing the live and liking the live. Because no, not built for it. Can't do it. So, 2 precarious situations, 2 very different outcomes. However, the point is to find the solution. And the reason why you feel this energy when I speak is because I got through it. I'm not sharing this story with heaviness on my heart. It's actually funny and lighthearted. And because I've consistently grown and found the solution in these precarious situations, I feel limitless. Just put me there. I'll figure it out. And that's what I leave with you. We're all equipped with everything we need to figure it out. We all have absolutely everything we need to figure it out. Sometimes it takes more time to figure it out. Sometimes it takes a resource to figure it out. Sometimes it just takes that moment that you get into it to understand, oh, I know what I can do. But fearing it isn't actually a solution. Fearing what I will do when I get there, that's not a solution. Understand we are limitless and we have solutions beyond our knowing. You will continue to hear more of these situations that I've successfully walked away from. Yeah, you're welcome. These are like in the below threes. We aren't even above 5. If the severity of situation 10, we're like at a 3. Next, I'll slightly turn it up more, because granted, these all happened on American soil. It changes a little when you leave the country, and I've learned about that. Thank you. It's my favorite red, as I say, which is only sold in Brazil. Gabriel from Colorama. It's not sold in the U.S., and it is my favorite color. And by the way, Brazilians, from all of the manicures I've had in the world, well, I would say Brazilians, Japanese, and probably Russian manicure, like going to the countries and having manicures in different countries. I love a Brazilian manicure because it's a completely different way of doing nails. However, you can figure it out. You can figure it out. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. I'm not much different than you. Not at all. So I leave you with that to be, yes, I used to live in London. For 7 years, I lived in the UK. Yeah. Okay, it does. I definitely know that for sure. And that will be a great trip. I know a lot. That's a beautiful space. We all have more than we know in us. If you can take anything from what I shared, take this. Be empowered in every moment. Be empowered. People are strong. We've all gone through a lot of things. We've gotten to this moment in life, which means you've lived through some things. You are empowered to figure it out. And this is why I come and I speak and I share and I empower and I uplift, and I just seek to make you laugh so you're not thinking about what you were worried about before through my silly stories. And boy, they get even better. Yes, absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I love learning from other cultures. And just a tip to anyone, the best way to learn another culture is to date someone from that culture. Maybe that's what I will speak about next time, because really you are enlightened to new things that you wouldn't know before. And that's how I perfected the other languages that I speak. And it's good. It's a good thing. Yeah. Exactly. Be well. Thank you. Yes. So that's what I do. I come on twice a day. I live in Hawaii, so it's 11:40 my time. I don't really plan when I'm going to come on, but I come on twice a day to live for at least an hour. I love a foreign gentleman, yes, and they love me. Thank you. And I come and share, and it is a little of what I do. This is what I do now professionally. Hey, Torino. Hey, good to see you. I see a neighbor of mine here, and I come here to share, to uplift, to enlighten. Sometimes we'll do talks about travel, because I do have so much experience with that, being a flight attendant for 15 years and all of. Sure, you tell me. Send me a message. I love to do lunch. If you are going to pick up the lunch tab, we can do that as soon as possible. This is what I do, and I seek that everyone stays empowered. Laugh, feel empowered, take something from the story, and come check me out. Also, if you missed the live, I post all of my lives. Exactly. I am clear as glass, honey. I'm as clear as they come, okay? We have no miscommunications. I say I am a exceptional communicator, but I am very straightforward. You aren't going to be confused at all. I have not yet. I have not yet, but I have started with my diving, my scuba diving license. What is it called? It's like 4 letters. Because I said this will open up a whole new space when I get my diving certification. Yes, transparency. Thank you. As well as sailing, because I always wanted Patty. Thank you. Patty license. I love boats. My father always loved boats, and I've always wanted to learn how to do a sailor's knot. So, I have started sailing lessons, just new things, something different. And I speak about that too. Even my hair, I just shaved it off on live on Saturday. Sometimes you just need to change. You're not ever going to find me like in a club or at a bar. You have to be doing something. Maybe you'll find me at the sailing lessons. Maybe you'll find me diving somewhere. Maybe you'll find me biking somewhere. But I like to do things. I like to be in movement and learn new skills. So that's me. Hope is speaking. I'm here. I post whatever lives, usually the next day, like tomorrow or the day after, onto my YouTube, which is the same thing. It's Hope is Speaking, is my YouTube channel, and I post all of my lives. So come get inspired, come laugh. There's a lot to laugh about, and I love to laugh. And be your drug of choice. That's what I say. And I said it so much that I put it on this sweatshirt. Like, I am my drug of choice. I have these sayings, and then I put them on clothing. So this probably will be for sale. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Oh, I love a donut. I hope it's a maple bar. Be empowered. Stand empowered. Know that you are the solution. You were born the solution. Good morning. You were born the solution. You are the solution. You have the solution. Allow space for the solution to come. Be the reflection of love that you are, because we come from infinite love. And make it look good. Make it look good. I know I do. I'm making it look good. Okay? So, I will see you sometime tomorrow. I love you all. Yeah, be your own drug of choice, okay? Because I have had someone say, Hope, you're like a drug. Yes, baby, you better watch out. You better watch out. With that, you are golden. And the future is always bright. So, good morning, good night, guten Tag. Bonne nuit, bonjour, and I love you too, Jen. Stay empowered. Ciao.